Hello, this is part of the Veet's Cuisine cookbook series, so you can cook along with me. If you're doing that, then you need to prepare all your veggies first. We're making today a fennel chickpea and potato soup, and I'm just going to put olive oil into the saucepan. If you've got one of my cookbooks, Veet's Cuisine, it's brilliant because you'll get to see a visual of it and you can cook along. If you haven't got a book, the link's below to buy one. Whoops. Okay, so we've got the oil in, and then we're going to put in onions and garlic and oregano chopped up and bay leaves. And I had some leeks, some green bits of the leeks, so I've just put them in. They're not in the recipe, but I've put them in anyway. I'm halving the soup because it makes a lot and I don't need that much. So we're just going to put that on a medium heat and cook those onions in the oil. And we're going to add a half teaspoon of salt to that, because that will help cook them better. And while they are cooking, I'm going to cook the buckwheat. The buckwheat's optional, but it adds more protein to the soup. So I soaked that overnight, and I'm just going to make half of what I say in the recipe. So I soaked a quarter cup of buckwheat, and there's boiling water there, and I'm cooking that, and that will only take 5 minutes to cook because it's been soaked. So I'm putting my timer on it. Had to get it off the fridge because it's one of these wonderful magnetic ones that everyone loves when they come to my cooking classes. And while that's cooking, I'm going to show you how to cook the fennel, because the fennel does stump people. I cut off all the frondy bits and all the long woody bits, and we're just going to use half of this. And for this recipe, we're going to cut it in chunks. And we want to take the centre of it out, and that just goes into the compost. And then this time we'll just cut it into chunks, like this. Whoops! That fell on the floor, so that will have to go into the compost as well. We'll pick that up afterwards. And ideally you want to put them into a bowl of water, and I have a lovely bowl of water here because that will stop it from oxidizing. So we'll pop those in, and you can pause your video to wait for your buckwheat to cook and your onions to cook. That's the timer! So the buckwheat's ready to be strained. So here's my makeshift sink here. And it doesn't matter if it's a little undercooked, but it won't be after 5 minutes because it is going in the soup. And the onions are ready too. Whoops. Just put that there. And the onions are ready in here. They're nice and cooked down. And then we're going to put the potatoes and carrot in here. And we're going to add some stock. And normally I make stock, but I wanted to make it easier. So I've got some Marigold organic bouillon, and I'm putting in 2 teaspoons of that. And we're going to put in a full litre of water. Dun, 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 dun. Cooking is my favourite activity. And we're putting in the chickpeas, and I cook them. I will put in the notes that you need to cook them first, and there's a video on how to cook them. And then we're going to leave that on for 5 minutes. And so set your timer for 5 minutes, pause the video, and we'll come back. So the soup, that's been 5 minutes, and now we're going to put in the other veg. So we're going to put in the fennel. That's going to make it nice and delicious. And we're going to put in the zucchini. And I'm actually going to put a little bit more water in. So it depends on how soupy you like your soup. And so because I'm putting more water in, I will put more salt in. So I'm just going to put a few more pinches of salt in there. Give that a stir around. And I forgot to put pepper in earlier, but we can put pepper in now. It's never too late for pepper. Pepper, 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 pepper. And then we'll leave that for another 5 minutes and then it will be cooked. It actually took 8 minutes to cook. Oh, I just put the buckwheat in. So we're just adding the buckwheat. And that's yummy, yummy, yummy. And I tried it before and I think it needs a little bit more pepper. And then it's done. It could have a little bit more salt, but we're going to put some of the pepita sprinkle on top. So I'll just turn that off the heat, and this is going to be lunch today. And adding the buckwheat makes sure that you're adding plenty of protein. Look at that. Oh, that's a nice big bowl of soup. And I'm going to put in some pepita sprinkle. And to make it look nice and professional, I've got one of the fennel fronds. Bon appetit! We did it! Hello, wonderful cook. I hope you enjoyed that recipe. I would love it if you wrote a comment. I love receiving comments and I'll always reply. Also, please like and subscribe. And if you look below, there's a link to sign up for my free iron rich ebook and weekly recipes. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.